Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the previous class, we have started with the new chapter as number system where we have learned about the types of numbers. Today we will start with a new chapter and that is complex numbers. Now for learning this chapter, we know that in previous classes we have learned about in quadratic equation we have the highest power of x as equals to 1. So if we take the equation as x square minus 1 is equal to 0, so x square value will be equals to 1. So x will be equals to plus minus under root 1. So we are getting the value as 1 comma minus 1. Now what does it mean? That both these values will be satisfying this equation and also these values are real values. Now suppose if you take the equation as x square plus 1 is equals to 0. So from here x square value will be equals to minus 1. Now what is the meaning of x square? X square means it denotes that it is the square of any number. And what is minus 1? Minus 1 is just a number. Now tell me, can a square of any number be equals to minus 1? Negative? No, it can't be. Square of any number in real space can never be negative. So it is quite natural from this equation that there will be no real values which will be satisfying the value of x in this equation. There will be no real values. So what will be x over here? It will be plus minus under root minus 1. This under root minus 1, it is named by a new name and that is called iota or I. Now, what is this I? I is actually, so we can understand it is equals to my under root minus 1. So over here we are getting two values of x, that is plus I and minus I. Now these values are formed to satisfy this equation. These values are called complex numbers. Iota actually have given us the concept of complex numbers. So if you are getting x is equals to under root, or if suppose we are writing I is equals to under root minus 1, and if you try to square this, what will you get? Or you can write x is equals to I is equals to minus 1. So if you square all the sides, it will be x square is equal to I square equal to minus 1. So when we are getting I is equal to under root minus 1, we are getting I square equal to minus 1. This is all about complex numbers because this I actually have given us the concept of complex numbers. This iota has come to satisfy the equation x square plus 1 is equals to 0. And also so you can understand that I is actually an imaginary number which has no relation with the real number system. Okay, so now we will find out values of few powers of I. Here we have learned that I square is equals to minus 1. If you talk about I cube, this is I square into I, that is equals to minus 1 into I, that is equal to minus I. If you talk about I to the power 4, this is I cube into I, that is what is I cube? Minus I. So minus I into I, that is equal to minus I square. What is the value of I square? It is minus 1. So minus of minus 1 is equals to plus 1. So I to the power 4 we are getting as plus 1. More powers of I, you can find out any powers of I. Like if I am calculating I to the power of 5, it is I to the power 4 into I. What is the value of I to the power 4? We have got 1. So 1 into I, that is equals to I, and so on. Now if we are moving to a bigger number, that is suppose I to the power of 103. and you are asked to find out the value of this number. So I to the power 103 can be written as I to the power 100 plus 3. From the law of indices, we can break the powers as I to the power 100 into I to the power of 3. Now I to the power 100, can it be written as I to the power 4 whole to the power 25 into I cube? Because 4 25s are 100. Why did I break it in terms of I to the power of 4? Because if I am breaking it in terms of I to the power 4, we know that I to the power 4 equals to plus 1. Easily we can put the value over here and find out the value. Also I cube value, what do you know? It's minus I. So this is coming 1 to the power 25 is coming how much? It will be I to the power 4 value we have got over here 1. So it will be 1 into minus I. So here the answer will come as minus I. Also suppose some other powers of I to the power of suppose 36 you are calculating. It can be written as I to the power of 9 into 4 because 9 fours are 36. So can you write this as I to the power 4 whole to the power of 9? So what is I to the power 4? Plus 1. So it will be 1 to the power of 9, that is equals to 1 over here. So any number, if you can write it in terms of power of 4, the value will always come as 1. And if it cannot be written, and if it is suppose written in terms of the power 3, then the answer will come in minus sign. So these are concepts you require for the preliminary concept of complex numbers.